Welcome back. Let's start the second part of the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. In fact, we have already finished off the first two paragraphs. Let us start with the third paragraph. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Viharji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. See, from a boy earning a laddu to getting the highest civilian award. So how did he complete his journey? How did he attain so much? See, as a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda. Gilli danda, you know? Gilli danda. Danda gutti is a local term used, where you can say a longer stick is used to hit on a smaller or shorter stick, and then when it comes on the air, it is hit with the longer stick, and then the opposition is to catch hold of it or to take it from that point and throw at the stick, which is placed at the place where it is, rather you may say where it is placed. Clear? Just if you type gilli danda, you will get to know in websites, or if you Google gilli danda, you will get to know about it in detail. Okay, so what happened? When he was a 5-year-old boy, he used to play gilli danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao in Bihar. Clear? He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple. Why? To sing the Bhojpuri Chaita. At the end of which means at the end of the song, he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg. Clear? It was a prize given by the local Maharaja. This happened how many years ago? 80 years ago. And that little boy, who was just 5 years old, travelled far to earn from that point to the present state, or you can say to the point when he earned the highest civilian award of India, the Bharat Ratna. Clear now? So how it happened? See, this is how his story started. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasul Baks Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. His father, Paigambar Baks, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Now what happened? He was born, when was he born? He was born on 21st March 1916. Where? In the well-known family of musicians from Bihar. Who was his grandfather? Rasul Baks Khan. He was a Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. His father, now what is said? His father Paigambar Baks and other paternal ancestors, means ancestors of the fathers. Clear? Of the father's side, maternal ancestors of the mother's side. Okay. So, and other paternal ancestors are also great Shehnai players. They were also great Shehnai players. Done? Now, the young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, now Varanasi, Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. Remember, PRACTISE, practice is the verb form of practice. So in British English, means the kind of English we use in India. Okay, If you are to use practice as a verb, we have to use practice, Practice. Whereas in American English, it remains the same. Practice, both in noun and verb. Okay. So, practice what? Practice the Shehnai. Soon, Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Bux to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Bux was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Bux would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. Slowly, he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temples of Balaji and Mangalamaya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, where he would practice in solitude. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. So, what is said, you see? The young boy took to music early in life. So, he started learning music when he was a kid. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house, when he was just 3 years old, his mother took him to his mamar badi. When his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, which is presently known as Varanasi, Bismillah was fascinated, attracted, watching his uncles doing what? Practice the Shehnai. He was fascinated, attracted, finding or looking at his uncles practicing the Shehnai. Done. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Bux to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Bux was employed to play the Shehnai. Now what happened? Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Bux. Started accompanying, you understand? Going with his uncle. What was his name? Ali Bux. Where? To the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Bux was employed to play the Shehnai. Now Ali Bux would play the Shehnai, and Bismillah would sit captivated, very much attracted, would sit captivated for hours on end. Means without stopping. He would sit there at a stretch. Clear? Now, slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument. And slowly he started doing what? Started getting lesson in playing the instrument. And would sit practicing throughout the day. And would sit practicing the same throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangalamaya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, places frequently visited, where he could practice in solitude, in loneliness. He could practice all alone. Clear? So what is said here? Soon he started getting lessons. He listened to it and then he started getting lessons in playing the instrument. Clear? And then in the coming years, he did what? He used to play the instrument in the temples of Balaji, means Balaji temple and Mangalamaya temple, and on the banks of the Ganga. What happened? The banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice, means assistant. Young assistant's favorite haunts, favorite visiting place, where he could practice in solitude, all alone, where he could practice all alone. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise, to come up with new forms, to improve and come up with new forms. Clear? Improvise and invent, discover. When you discover something unknown to the world earlier, a non-existent, is invent. And discover means it is already there, you didn't know, you found it. Clear? It is discover. When you say invent, means it was not there, you are the creator of it. Clear? With discover you can say, I discovered a cat in my room. Clear? I didn't know there was a cat, so I discovered a cat. But with invent, I invented a mobile phone. It was non-existent before that, so I invented it. Clear? So invent new ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. Earlier, they are not part of the Shehnai. They are not considered as part of the Shehnai. So he brought them in or made them a part of the Shehnai. I hope it is clear. Clear? Good. Now, paragraph number 6. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah Khan's big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. See, at the age of 14, when he was just 14 years old, Bismillah accompanied his uncle. Where? To the Allahabad Music Conference. Where? Allahabad Music Conference. Now, Allahabad is presently known as Prayagraj. Good. So, at the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted. You understand petting? At the back of somebody. Yes, very good, very good. At this, like touching softly or hitting softly. Clear? So, patted on his back, means on the young boy's back. Who is that young boy here? Bismillah Khan. Young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." Just work hard and you shall make it. You can achieve anything. With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938, in 1938 came Bismillah Khan's big break. And it's true, when All India Radio was opened in the year 1938, it was a big moment for Bismillah Khan. Why? He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. Clear? And even when we were kids, like 10 years, 15 years ago, even in those days, morning was actually like, without Shehnai, morning was impossible. Radio. On the radio, you could hear the playing of Shehnai. I don't know whether it is the same in today's time or not, because radio is not in vogue nowadays. Clear? So that was the case. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Raga Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Rise to Destiny speech. Now, when India gained independence, when India got independence, what happened? On 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He was the first Indian to greet the nation. Greeting, we understand? So, to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out. He expressed his emotion into Rag Kafi, the rag that he played on the Shehnai. It was Rag Kafi, where from? From the Red Fort. To whom? To an audience. Who are they listening to it? To an audience which included the great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later delivered his famous Trust with Destiny speech. It's a very famous speech. Okay. Delivered or addressed by Jawaharlal Nehru on that very day. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. The king of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Gunj Uti Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two: Vijay Bhatt's Gunj Uti Shehnai, Vikram Srinivas's Kannada venture Sanadhiya Panna. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Now what happened here? Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances where? Not only in India, but in abroad also. Clear, but abroad also. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. First trip outside India was to Afghanistan, where King Jahir Shah was so much impressed, attracted and charmed by his presentation that he gifted him with the priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs also. Souvenirs, that means things that are given in memory of, prepared or produced in memory of. Clear, of a place, person or thing, event. So souvenir. And then what happened? Other souvenirs. The king of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah Khan's music. Famous film director Bijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after this. And what is it? After the instrument. It's Gunjuti Shehnai. And the film was a real hit. Clear? And in that film there was one song composed by Bismillah himself. What is the song? Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya. It also turned out to be a very famous one. Chartbuster. Clear? Record breaker. Understood? Now, what happened? Turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, celluloid because in earlier days, movies were recorded and kept in celluloid reels. That's why celluloid world. Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to only two. One is Bijay Bhatt's film, Gunjuti Shehnai. The other one is a Kannada venture, Sanadi Appanna. So why didn't he continue? The answer is given by him here. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world. I can't come to terms. I cannot adjust, cope up with the artificiality, because film world is full of artificiality, not reality. Okay, and so artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis, with stress. Understood? Now, let's see. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahir Masik Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now what happened? Awards and recognition came thick and fast, means came heavily. Clear? Came heavily. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall. Where was he invited? In the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the USA. In the USA. Clear? In the USA. And more importantly, he was the first Indian to be invited there. He also participated in the World Exposition in Montreal. Done? He also took part, that is participated in the World Exposition in Montreal in the Cannes Art Festival. It's not Cannes. Cannes Art Festival and the Osaka Trade Fair. Next sentence, just have a look at the structure. So well known did he become. So known, well known, adjective comes first. Okay, so well known, he became so well known. So it is said, so well known did he become. It was like in an assertive sentence, it would have been he became so well known internationally. In order to give emphasis on, in order to give stress on the famous or popularity, how famous he was or how popular he was, this part is rather taken in front of the sentence. And what is said? So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him. What is the name? Tahir Masik Ustad Bismillah Khan. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him, were given on him. Clear to you? Up to this is clear? Up to this is clear? Very good. We will start the next video with paragraph number 11 and complete it accordingly. Thank you.